Hello there. Today we'll be solving a Leetcode problem that is maximum subarray problem number 53. And let's get to the question. Given an integer array nums, find the contiguous subarray containing at least one number which has the largest sum and return its sum. A subarray is a contiguous part of an array. So this problem actually uses the famous Kadanes algorithm. So I'll be explaining you that on how to do the sum. And first of all, I'll get to the naive approach, that is simply just iterate over using two loops and find out which is the largest subarray, and that will be your naive solution, which is of n square. And I will not be showing you that. I have just explained how the naive algorithm works. And let me see if I have the naive algorithm. No, I did not. So okay, now let's get to the Kadanes algorithm. I'll be explaining it to you. So how does this work? Let's see. Let's get to the first array, that is nums here. I'll be explaining you with the example of this. So why do we need actually Kadanes algorithm? Since the naive algorithm worked in O of n square, which is a pretty bad complexity, so we need some optimization. And how does Kadanes algorithm help here? I'll be explaining you that. Let's get to the problem. So for here, I have a variable, let's say sum. Okay, sum. And what will I be doing? I'll be updating the sum, which was initially 0, to the summation of every nums of I. So I'll just give an example and you'll get to know what I'm actually talking about. So at first I'll be iterating over all the indices, okay, and I'll be adding those values into the sum. So let's get to work. So what do we get at first? We get -2. But let's see, let's analyze this. Does -2 contribute to any answer, which is indeed a possible answer here? As we can see, the output is 6, right? So if I get a -2 here, can I get a positive at the right hand side of the array? That means, can I get a positive value here? I can possibly get, okay. I can also get it and I also cannot get it. So there is a possibility either I can get it or I cannot get it. So what I will do is I'll just store this into my sum for right now, and I'll just say, okay, this is your sum right now. And if the value is negative, that means I do not need this. And why do I not need this? Let's say I have an array something like 1. After that I have something like 0 here, and I have something like -2 here, right? And I also have something like a -3. So let's see what is the largest subarray that you can find visually. Okay, so we can see it will be this, right? 1, or we can say 1 0. It still gives us the value as 1, right? So as we can see, there is no need for taking in this negative subarray into consideration. Let's say even if I have something like this here, 1 2 3, will I take this? Will this help me increase the sum of this subarray? Just think. This is giving me 3 to 5 plus 1 6. If I just take in this guy, I'll get a subarray of 4, right? Why do I need to take a negative element into account for a subarray? It only decreases the value of the subarray or the sum, right? So I really do not need this negative integers right here and account that into my subarray. So what will I do? I'll just simply discard that. That means whenever I encounter a negative value, and if my sum, which is right now negative, then I'll just initialize that value of sum to 0. Now I'll go through this example and you'll get this how it is working. So let's take a sum variable. Okay, this is a sum. Okay, this is sum, and this is initialized to int main. Okay, very large negative number, something like -9999, let's say. Okay, whatever. Now let's get to this part. So I see what is my value of sum, and mind you, we are just summing all the values up, like we are just finding the prefix sum, right? So we are getting all, we are adding everything, like -2 plus 1 plus -3 plus 4, like this we are just adding on. So what is the value at index 0? We get -2. So I'll see, is -2 greater than int min? I can say indeed it is greater, right? Since my int min was very large number, let's say -999, so -2 is indeed greater, right? And let's take a maximum variable which is storing my maximum so far. That is the maximum subarray that I have found till that index. So what is it? For index 0, I've got -2. Fine, not a problem. Now when I see this sum is negative, so do I need it later? Will it be a good sorry, will it be a good choice to add this -2 to some subarray? Let's say I've got -2 here, I've got 1 and 3 next, right? So if I just have -2 at the front, will it be a good choice to add this to this subarray? You will obviously say no, right? Since this is giving me 4, and if I just add this into this subarray, I'll get what? 2, right? So this is not a good choice. So what will I do? I'll simply discard this. And how do I discard this? I'll just say sum, if your value is negative, just reset your value to 0. So now this sum value becomes to 0. Okay, now if I further get, so let's take this example. So when I got -2, I said sum you become 0. Since I don't need you, you do not contribute to a better answer for me, right? So I'll just go on to the next value. Now when I go to the next value, it will have a sum of what? 1. And then it will have a sum of what? 4. Adding these two elements, so I'll get 4. So since I resetted this value, I'm getting the actual subarray sum. Otherwise I would have got a lessened subarray sum, which would have been 2 if I would have added this -2. So this is what this resetting this value comes into play, and then it actually increases the chances of actual finding of this sub array which is of the largest sum. So now what do we have? Now we have 0. So now let's get on to the first index, that is 1, and the value is 1. So now my sum is 1. Fine. Get to the next index, no changes made here. Now we'll see we have a -3. So I'll update my maximum so far, which is 1 right now. I'll get to -3. I see that -3. Okay, -3 and 1 is what? -2. Should I take this? Should I update my maximum? No, I should not. And if this value is negative, what did I say? Just reset it to 0, right? Now, again, now it comes to here, that is 4. Again, since I resetted this value, right? Remember, since I resetted this value to 0, now I'm getting the value 4. Now this 4 will be my maximum. If I had not resetted this value to 0, I would have got what? -2 plus 4, right? I would have got, see, if you did not understand, just look here carefully, just give a second and you'll understand it. Whatever what was the value here? It was 1, right? Now I added what? 1 plus -3, so the value became -2. And I said if I get a negative value at any given point, I'll just reset that value to 0, so I can get the next possible value of the summation as positive and as large as possible if it is a positive value. Otherwise I would have got what? -2 plus 4 would have given me what? 2, right? It would have given me 2 for this index. It would have given me 2 for this index. But since I resetted this value, now I get 4, which is my actual answer for this particular index. Now I'll be going on and repeating the steps and until I reach the end of the array, and I'll simply just return whatever is my maximum. And I hope you have understood the intuition and the algorithm completely, this Kadanes algorithm. Now let's get to the implementation part, which is exactly what I've just said to you. So we just initialize the maximum. This is storing my answer. The sum, which is adding up all the values, that is -2, 1, -3, 4, and so on. And I am just adding this value right here, and I am just taking out the maximum. Let's say if I have a subarray of 1 till here, this is my maximum, right? And then I found 4. Okay, now 4 is my maximum. Now again I'll find that okay, something other than that is my maximum. So if I find some greater answer, Now just update that answer, right? This is what I'm doing here. I'm just updating the answer if I find a better answer. And as I said, if at any given point some value becomes negative, just reset that sum to 0. And this is what the algorithm is, or Kadanes algorithm. And if you submit this, you'll get the correct answer. I'll just run it and show it to you. This works fine. Okay, for some reason, okay, my internet is gone for some reason. Okay, but otherwise it will surely work if you run this. And that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.